Rotate device. Wait lang ah. Sinecheck ko lang yung ano, kung paano yung position ng camera. Sabi dito, rotate device. Bakit hindi pwedeng ganun? Gusto ko landscape. Wait lang. Hindi maliit yung space ko. Siyempre, nag-ano ko, di ba? Poprotesta. Ganyan daw dapat. My kid. Sige daw. Kaya lang kasi parang ang liit ng space pagka ganyan. Ay, akala ko magaling na ako dito. Hindi pa rin pala. Bear with me, okay? I'm just adjusting the camera. Wait lang, ha? Ang hirap mag-arte, ha? Promise, ha? Hindi pwede. Something heavier. Wait lang kasi we think that the camera might commit suicide. Yan, testing namin to. Kailangan namin ng pabigat dun sa aming tripod. Kaya basta bawal na lang gumalaw. Oh, that's too bad, Thea. It's okay. You can always, try again. Wait lang ha, nag-ayos lang ako ng camera. Wait, in fairness, parang maganda ako dito. Yan. Yan. Kita niyo ba? Teka, wait lang. Uurong ko lang siya ng... Ayan. Last na lang. Tilt mo to the left. Ganyan. Yan. Balik. Konting balik. Yan. I think okay na yan. No? Can you guys see me okay? Check ko lang dito sa mahiwagang screen. Baka mamaya, mukha na pala ako lumukha. Wait lang ha. Standby lang kayo. Sabi dito. Oh, yan. Pwede na. I think this is okay. Hindi kasi siya may ganun eh. Pero I think sakto na siya. Okay. So, iwan ko lang ito dito so I can see myself. Yan. So, welcome everyone. I think I am actually really doing better on doing live videos on YouTube. Hello, Raquel. The camera is kind of far away, so I might not be able to see what you're saying. I'm gonna try and look at a monitor here on my left side. So if I'm looking there, I'm not ignoring you. I am just looking at the monitor. And I look nice and dandy today, right? Yeah. So, what are we doing today? We are making a knotted bread. Kasi syempre, we are all home but to keep safe. Diba? Marami sa atin ang staying at home, keeping safe, following the quarantine rules. So, para hindi tayo masyadong mainip, it is a good idea to learn something new. So, today, you will learn how to make a very easy to put together kind of bread Hindi to talaga mahiwaga. There's no rocket science in this bread. You can easily put it together in less than an hour. Okay, so you will need a loaf pan. If you don't have this, you can use any pan. Shape is just an add-on to your bread. What's important, of course, is how your bread tastes, di ba? So, you also have very few ingredients that you will need. Napakadali lang talaga. Can I have the bottle of milk, the big one? Good afternoon, everyone. There. Oh, also, you will need a dough cutter. Kung wala, yeah, you can also use a knife. Hindi naman talaga to requirement. Wait lang share ko lang sa mga friends ko yung link dyan lang. Wait lang. Almost there. Dito na nga lang, para nakikita nyo ako kahit na may ginagawa akong kung ano-ano. Let me just share the link so more people can watch. Kung makaka-request kayo, anong gusto ninyong demo I mean, a free tutorial that I can do here live on YouTube? Huwag mo masyadong madugo. Yung sakto lang. Not too hard, not too easy. Just, something that we can do together and have fun. Bye! My daughter is leaving. Okay. So then, we can now start. So for the things that you will need, I just wanted to show you the milk that I'm using. I live in Lipa City, Batangas, and there is a milk farm, cow farm, just a farm that has milk near my home. And so we get this for, I think, 90 pesos. It's really fresh. You can get it every day. So, of course, if you don't have this where you are, you can always use any milk that you have. I think the light should be here. Sorry ha, kasi nag-adjust pa kami. Yan, yung light na din. Para medyo. Sige pa. Yan, I think that's better, no? Hindi masyadong kita yung double cheek. So, yan. I use this. It's Milk Joy. It's super fresh milk that you can get here in Lipa, Batangas. Again, if you don't have it in your area, you can always use regular milk. You can even use evaporated milk. You can use powdered milk, just dilute it in water. That's fine. I'm using a loaf pan, again, a non-stick loaf pan. But of course, you can use any kind of pan. You can actually, the knotted bread, you can turn it into a round bread. You can turn it in a long kind of bread. Or if you want, then you don't even have to use a pan. You can just use we call it a plancha. It's like a flat tray. You can put it there. You will also need a dough cutter. I mentioned that earlier. And glycine. This is my favorite thing because I'm not a fan of plastic. So when I wrap my dough, I wrap it in glycine. This is a kind of a thin grease-proof paper. You can buy this in any baking supply store near you. It's very cheap. I think it's just 2 pesos per sheet. I also use this to line my pans with. Oh, hello, Mami Mitch. She's the one who made the ube cheese pandesal. That's so yummy. Super yummy talaga. Bakit ba ako nagpapakirap? Diyan meron kong monitor dito mas malaki. Wait lang. Yeah. There. I can see myself. However, I cannot see what you're saying. I really cannot see what you're saying, so I'll just read them later when we're done. Okay, so this, and of course some rags for you to wipe your hands with. Alright, now let's go to the ingredients, which is of course the most important thing when you're making anything. Like if you're cooking or baking, your ingredients is number one. Okay, so we have here 50 grams of white granulated sugar. And then we have 200 ml of fresh milk. Again, I use fresh milk. You can use powdered milk and dilute it with water. Just follow the box directions and then mix it before you use it. And then you also can use evaporated milk. Or, what's that other thing? Sterilized milk, bare bread. 1 egg, large, half a cup of softened butter, and 5 grams of yeast. Then you have a pinch of salt. You can use more if you want. It's really up to your taste. Okay, and I use 2 kinds of flour. I have 250 grams of all-purpose flour and 250 grams of bread flour. Now, why do I do this? Because all-purpose flour is a softer kind of flour. It helps make proofing your bread much easier. But the chewiness of your bread is fabulous when you use bread flour. So what I did is what I normally do is I combine both of them. But if you don't have all-purpose flour and you only have bread flour, you can just remove 2 tablespoons of the bread flour and replace it with cornstarch. That would make it similar to half all-purpose flour. Okay? You guys got that? Ulitin ko, if you're just going to use pure bread flour, just remove 2 tablespoons of the bread flour and replace it with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. That will give you a softer kind of flour that's perfect for this kind of bread. So, let's put it together. Oh, by the way, this is a Choco hazelnut bread. So, of course, we will need Choco hazelnut. I'm using this. I'm going to go closer to the camera because I want you to see this. Ta-da! It's creme fill. Okay, I would say it's similar to Nutella, but way, way more affordable. And it's also, what's the great thing about creme fill is it's bake stable. It's freezer stable as well, so you can make your bread, fill it with this, put it in the freezer, and then just take it out when you need to bake it. Okay? Again, I cannot read what you're typing. That's fine. Of course, we can just go back to that later on. So I am going to pull my mixer towards me because it's on the far side of the table. And I'm having a hard time getting it into camera view because YouTube is not allowing me to do it tilted. What is that called? Landscape. It just wants portrait. There. So I am using a Breville Bakery Boss. This is a fabulous. I really love the word fabulous. So this is a countertop mixer with a 1200 watt motor. For me, the power of this mixer is beyond words. I mean, it just does what it's supposed to do and more. most mixers are not able to knead dough, or when it does, I mean, if you force it to, it will, but you can hear weird sounds coming out of your mixer, and sometimes weird smell coming out of your mixer motor. So be very careful with that. You don't want to end up with burnt mixer. So the Bakery Boss and its 1200 watt motor will make mincemeat of whatever you want to knead. It's so powerful. So what we will do is we will first put our flour. This is super easy. Now if you don't have a mixer that can do the job, that's fine. You can just hand knead it. Whatever we are doing, you just do it in a separate bowl and then use a wooden spoon. And when all of the ingredients has come together, then all you need to do is knead it by hand. Very easy, right? Okay, now we will put the salt. I'm going to put the salt on one side. And I am going to put the sugar on one side. And I am going to put the yeast on the same side as the sugar. Because yeast is a little sensitive to salt. It may not rise properly or proof properly if you mix it with the salt. So that's something that you need to be careful of. Okay, I never ever break my eggs with the ingredients. Because if you get, it's like eggs are mysterious. You don't know what's inside. Oh, there. I am able to see that. It says, where did you buy your loaf pan? I've had this for a couple of years and excuse me, I actually do not remember where I got it. I think I got it I buy most of my stuff from eBay. So if you want to check that out, then just go to eBay Philippines. I also sometimes shop in Lazada and Shopee, but not often because I've been disappointed a couple of times. So I kind of stay away from that. There. So maybe I look funny doing this. Squinting on the screen and looking at what you guys are saying. So just to recap, we have here our dry ingredients, which is the flour, the two kinds of flour, the salt, the yeast, and the sugar. Okay, now we are going to mix our wet ingredients. See, this is really very easy. It's just like putting two and two together. I don't know if there are chats at the bottom of the screen because it's not showing me. It's just showing me old chats. So if you guys are saying something and I'm not saying anything or replying, it just means that I didn't see it. Doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. Okay, so I just mixed the egg in there and the butter. So if you can see, this is not ghee or this overly melted butter. Oh, there. Yeah. Yeah, do try eBay Philippines. I've gotten a lot of good stuff there. And of course, it's always good to buy local, but you will be surprised there are a lot of sellers on eBay Philippines that are locals. So when you buy from them, they ship it immediately and it gets here really quick. I've also tried buying from AliExpress. If you don't have a lot of patience waiting for your stuff, don't buy there. Sometimes it takes 2 months. Yes, that's how long. Okay, so this is not overly melted butter. This is just soft butter. Means I got it at room temperature for about an hour, and then I mixed it with a spoon to make it soft like this. Okay, so I'm going to put it in here. So I just mixed all of the wet ingredients together. Now this is like the traditional way to make your bread. if you're making a big batch or you are going commercial with this, of course you can use bread improver. I'm not gonna say no or yes to bread improver. It has its uses, especially for the commercial bread maker. It makes life so much easier. But if you are a home baker and just want to bake for your family, now the traditional way is the way to go. Why? Because that's how it was in the olden days, and they were perfectly happy with their bread. And it's not, you don't have to go out and buy a lot of ingredients because mostly traditional bread is things that you find in your kitchen. There. Again, if you don't have a mixer like this, you can just do it in a bowl and use a wooden spoon. There. Lovely, it lights up. Oh, by the way, before I start mixing, I just remembered Breville Philippines is still has an ongoing contest for frontliner moms. So if your mom is a frontliner and you are interested in getting it's a coffee machine that they are awarding to the how would I say it? Most deserving frontliner mom. The contest was for Mother's Day, but our moms deserve more than just a day, so they are running the contest until June 30. So if you guys are interested in joining, if you're a mom or if you're a husband and your wife is a frontliner, do head on to Facebook and search for Breville Philippines and look for the post that, or I can just put in the comment later on the link so that you guys can just click that and join. So let me just give our frontliners a round of applause. We really appreciate your effort, and of course we appreciate your risking your life so that we will be safe. Ang dami kong nasabi. So when you are mixing though, you don't want to go all out with your mixer. That's the fastest way to burn down your motor. I can see myself in the monitor. And I look fine. I don't look crazy. Now once all the ingredients have come together, somehow come together, then you can turn it up just a notch. See, now whenever I use my Breville Bakery Boss, I am confident that it will do the job without complaints. Yes, my boss is a she. She's done this a couple of times with no hitches. So recap, if you don't have a mixer, then you can just use a bowl and a wooden spoon until the ingredients come together and then knead by hand. The good thing about this recipe is you don't need to knead it a lot. It kind of takes care of itself. Okay, now one more notch up. See, it doesn't heat up. It does not make funny noises. It's very obedient. It just does the job really quietly. So if you guys are interested in this mixer, again, it's available at Breville Philippines on Facebook. Oh, it's also available at SM and True Value. It's also available. I'm not sure if they have Bakery Boss at SMR, but they do have this, which is the Scraper Mixer Pro. This on the other hand, is an 800 watt motor. This has a 1,200 or a 1,200 motor. So it's coming together quite well. I'm just really waiting for it to, come together. And you can see that there's still a lot of ingredients sticking to the sides of the bowl. That should come clean. Like up to here, it should come clean. It means your dough is already well mixed. I'm not seeing any of your chats yet. So, guys, if you guys are chatting, then I will answer you guys later. By the way, mamaya na para secret yun. It's almost done. See, ang bilis lang talaga na. It's super fast to make. So if you don't have a lot of time and you want to make bread for your family, this is a great recipe for you to do. Hello, Judith. Judith is one of our beautiful admins over at Baking and Cooking Food Mania. So that is a baking group of beautiful, friendly, and gorgeous and friendly people. So if you are interested in joining us, just head on to Facebook, and not now. Don't stop watching. Just head on over to Facebook and look for Baking and Cooking Food Mania and join us. Yeah. So as you can see, it's not very difficult to knead. And since you have the right amount of yeast in there, it will rise quite well. Now, the secret, so that you don't have painful arms when you are making bread, is to let it proof once for a few minutes, and when you see that the yeast has softened the bread, that's when you start kneading. But again, if you're not a fan of kneading, you can just proof it twice and it'll be fine. Okay? So I just want to knead it for a few more times so that it won't be difficult for me to roll it into a sheet. Now do know that I used 2 kinds of flour, and that makes a soft kind of dough. Okay, so now we are going to turn it into a sheet. But of course, you will need to let it do its thing. So you cannot make it now and then bake it now. Good bread is just not like that. So you need to let it proof, let it do its thing, let it develop its gluten, and you will have good bread. Okay, I'm just rolling it so that later on it would be much easier for me to roll it into a thinner sheet to make my bread. Now normally, once you're done, you wrap it in cling film or cling wrap. It's just that I'm not a fan of plastic, so I use something else. I use glassine. I've shown it earlier, and it is a kind of a grease-proof paper that is very affordable. I just wrap my dough in this and then chill it. Yes, you need to chill it. I know it's a different process than most of you are used to. I like to let it cook slowly because that gives you chewiness in your bread. You guys should try it. When your dough rises really fast, it's a little fluffy. But when you want chewy bread, then you let it rise much slower. Okay, so we are going to put this in the chiller for, it's best if you do this at night and then use it in the morning. So let me just put this in the chiller. And come back with a chilled dough. This is half of the regular recipe, half of the recipe that we did. You see, the paper works fine. You don't need to use plastic all the time. And in fact, I'm so crazy about conserving, I would fold this and then I would put it in the refrigerator so that I can reuse it. But if you're not planning on reusing it in the next couple of days, then you should just throw it away and make a new one. It's not because it's expensive, it's because you want to conserve not just your resources, but of course you want to help rebuild Mother Earth, who's really hurting right now. Oh, see? It's very dense. But it's way softer than the texture of our dough earlier. It means it has developed gluten, but very, very slowly because it was refrigerated. Okay. Now, I just want to show you something before we continue with the rolling because my bread is already ready for baking. I have another batch which I did earlier. And I've allowed it to proof for 40 minutes after I made the knot. So that this is how it should look like. It's about double the size of its original size when I put it here in the pan. So this is how it should look like. Okay, so you should be. Let me give you the baking instructions now. So of course you need to preheat your oven to 200 and bake it for 20 to 25 minutes. Why do I have varying baking time? Sometimes your oven lies. Yes, it's painful. It hurts when your oven lies to you. You cannot get the temperature quite correctly, especially if you were using a gas-fired oven. If you're having some issues like that, then I suggest, hold on, let me just preheat my oven. Then I suggest that you get an oven thermometer. It's very cheap, it's less than 200, and it makes sure that you have the right temperature for your bread, for your cakes, for your other pastries that you need to do. Okay? Because sometimes you think you're at 200, but you're only at 185 or 190, so that prolongs the baking process. That's why it's 20 to 25 sometimes. It reaches up to 30 minutes. So you need to know what the bread should look like once it's done. So there. I'll just put it here beside me. So what you need to do is you need to roll your dough into a sheet. It should be thin, especially if you want a lot of yumminess in there. Because if it's thin, you can put in more filling. flip it. Make sure it's even on the sides. You don't want uneven bread. There. And then flip it. Now, I've shown this to one of my friends and she asked me, how come you don't use flour? Because some bakers, they put flour on the table when they knead or they roll their bread. This bread really doesn't stick, so you don't need flour. Hope you guys are enjoying. I know it's a hot, humid afternoon. It's perfect for bread. But I'm inside the room, so. Sorry, I was looking at the monitor and I was pixelated. I hope it's not the same on your end. Possibly it's my internet connection. When it comes to bread, I like to do it slow. Kind of enjoy every process. It's therapeutic. Bread making is therapeutic. Really, I'm serious. I'm not joking about that. So we are going to flip it again, like so. Make sure you have a nice square shape and as much as possible sharp edges. I know that's hard, so you just so if there are extras, just cut them off. So you want to square it fairly well before you cut so you don't waste a lot of dough. Okay. There. So how are you guys doing? I know a lot of you now, I mean, I think almost all of the places in the Philippines are now under general quarantine, and that makes it, I mean, that means you can go out, but the question is, should you go out? Well, you probably know the virus is still there. It didn't go anywhere. It's still there. It's just lurking in the corners, and we are being allowed to go out so that the economy can move on. But with regards to health, I think we should all still stay at home. So again, I'm using Cranfill. It's heavy. It's hazelnut. It's similar to Nutella. It tastes better in baked bread. You should try it. It's made by Piratas, and you can download their app at Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's called My Bakery Piratas. So you can check out all of the products that they have there. Cranfill is one. Surely you should also consider checking out Ambiente. It's my super favorite brand of whipped cream. And of course, okay, that's my oven. So I'm gonna put this inside the oven and bake it for 20 minutes. Sorry, 23. See, I've done this a couple of times, so I'm sure it's 23. So I'm just spreading. Oh, you should try Ambiente because it's really, for me, it's the best whipping cream brand. Of course, for my butter, I am using the magical Kaylee butter. My family over at Kaylee Gourmet Butter made this for me so that I can easily show it to you guys. So So there. Kaylee butter is real butter. It's perfect for all your baking needs. There. It's nice, no? I have all of that stuff there. Okay. Now the amount of filling is up to you. You can put as much as you can. Of course, you have to consider that's going to ooze out if you have too much. But if it's yummy wise, of course, you can put as much as you want. You want to spread that out evenly. Because you're going to roll this. There. So, I have put too much. I'm pretty sure I put too much. So I'm going to remove a little bit and eat. Now, the only reason I'm removing it is because I want to show you exactly how much you should have in there. So it doesn't ooze out, and also you don't have difficulty when you are knocking your bread. Yes, Bea, it's chocolatey. Oh, my daughter is watching. Hi, Ate Pao, I love you too. She just returned back to her office in Makati. We miss her already. Even the dog is sad. She has to go back to work. Yeah, I'll make this for you, Ate Pa, when you come home. Ate Ita is rejoicing. She's gonna have this all to herself. Yeah. Why am I taking a long time doing this? Because I want to chit chat. So, what you want to do is you want to gently roll it. Fold it first, just a little, fold it inwards. Then you want this as your backup in case it sticks. But really, this dough rarely sticks. I love it. I love how it behaves, how it tastes. It's my favorite. So just gently roll it. Now if you see that it's bulging on one side, let's say you see that it's getting a little pregnant on this area, you just pinch it towards the end where it's a little thin. It means you have too much filling on this end. So you just pinch it towards the sides where you have like kind of a waistline. And continue rolling. See there. Now when you get to the end, you want to pinch that like this. Pinch it so that it locks the filling inside. Gently, you don't want to put a hole in your dough because the filling is going to ooze on that end. Another thing I really love about Pirata's creme fill is it behaves really well. I love ingredients who follow directions really well. Okay, so there. Now, ideally, if you're not using creme fill, let's say you are using Nutella or you are using a different filling. Of course, this is not exclusive to chocolate. You can use any filling that you like. You can use cheese, or if you have a really bad sweet tooth, you can use a fruity filling like a jam. Make sure it's a stable, it's a big, stable kind of filling. You don't want to have anything burning inside your knotted bread. Okay? So, if you're using any other filling, it is a good idea to chill it again for maybe about an hour or two before you knot it. Okay? Got that? So I'm using a non-stick pan, but for my own sake, I will use this because it sometimes gives me a hard time to get it out of the pan. I have a hard time pulling it out. So, to make sure your bread doesn't stick to your non-stick pan. You know what? I have tried. I told my daughter I will try to do a serious tutorial next time. I'm not going to smile or laugh or giggle. And she said, oh, you will be probably laughing on the first minute. So I didn't even try this time. So what I'm saying is that sometimes your bread still sticks to your pan, even if it's a non-stick pan. Why? I have no idea. So just for good measure, you would maybe want to line your loaf pan like this. So when you put your bread inside, it's going to be laying there in your pan and not sticking to it. Okay, so there. So let's say you used, or you want to chill it. Again, you just wrap it in paper and chill it for a couple of hours. Or, like me, I have very little, I told you I'm not very good at waiting. So what I normally do after rolling is I knot it. So I have here a dough cutter. Let me do it like this so you can see. There. Much better. So you want to mark it first. Straight up the middle. Like this. Okay, straight up the middle. So that when you cut it, it's going to be of the same size. Okay, like that. And just cut. See? Now, oh wow. Can I see my little baby girl? Loves to paint, but does not like to brush her hair.
Yes.
Her hair is a mess. I want to show her on camera, but she is a mess. But I'll show her anyway. So this is her. And look, she painted a cake for me.
That's Halloween.
Okay, a Halloween cake in June. How fabulous. And this is it's a girl. Winking.
It's freckles. I love freckles.
Okay. Oh, she has freckles. This has become a show and tell. This is an abstract art. And this too. Oh, and a heart. She loves me very much. Okay. Thank you so much, baby. Welcome, Papa. Yep. I will hang it. Thank you. There's paint on my hand.
It's kind of wet.
Oh, okay, that's fine. You can go upstairs to Papa. So there, as you can see, even if I have cut it in the middle, the filling barely came out. Well, just a tiny amount right there. There. And it's gone. On the other side, there's none. So it's very stable. It stays in there. There. So cut it up right in the middle. Now for those of you who have seen the poster for this live tutorial, you can see that the top of the bread is shiny. And I didn't put anything. I didn't put egg wash or anything. It's the creme fill. It's really wonderful. And tastes really wonderful. My daughter sneaks in here. This is my baking studio. And she sneaks in here and gets creme fill. Okay, so now we are going to knot it. I just want to remove the paper. There. So what you want to do is you want to turn the middle side up like that. So the stripes are there. And this one too, like that. And then you want to crisscross it like this. And twist it. Make sure that the striped side remains up. There. And again. There. And then pinch it so it comes together. Or seal it with a pinch. There. And then you do the same for the other side. It's just a little sticky there. And I think I want to do one more, so I'm gonna try to twist it harder there. So I can twist it one more time there. See? And all the stripes are up. And then we are going to push it inwards a little to shorten it and then lift it into the pan. There. Okay, I will wipe my hands. I hope you guys are having a great time. Again, if there is anything that you would like me to do a tutorial on, please write it in the comment box so that I can consider doing it, especially now that I still cannot travel. I mean, we are allowed, but we want to stay safe. Okay, so there, we are going to put a cloth on top of that and let it proof for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the temperature of the environment. Now, you just want to check it after maybe the 20-minute mark so that you can check if it has risen. Once it doubles in size, that's the perfect time for you to bake it. So again, you bake it for 20 to 25 minutes at 200 degrees. Okay, so the bread in the oven is still baking. Oh yeah, the caramel cake request. I forgot. Okay, I will try to do it maybe next week. Okay? I'm supposed to do a video every Tuesday and Friday, but I keep doing it ahead of time. Like, I did one on Monday and then I did another today. So at least when you come back here on a Tuesday or Friday, there will be a new video waiting for you. So, you guys want to wait for the bread to be done? It's still in there and it has about 9 minutes more to go. Oh, the one with flowers, you mean? The caramel cake with flowers? I can do that. That's not a problem. Or just the regular caramel cake with the caramel sauce. Do tell so that I know if I can do it or not. It's really super hot and humid right now. Even if I'm in an air-conditioned studio, it's still quite warm because of course I am baking and the oven is on and I have quite a few. Ooh, with flour buttercream. I'll think about it. Because I don't have a buttercream recipe that. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I do have a buttercream recipe that I can share with you guys. Because I have, so let me just take the time to quickly discuss. So you don't have a choice. You have to sit there and listen to me. So I do have online classes, and those are paid classes, but they are super affordable. Like you get 5 recipes for only 500 pesos. And these are recipes that I've used for many years. These are not in the Philippines what they call puchu-puchu recipes, or recipes that don't really work out. So since you are in the Philippines, all of the ingredients that I use, if you are in the Philippines, even if you are anywhere else, all of the ingredients that I use in my classes are really easy to find and easy to substitute. Let's say there's an ingredient there that is not available in your area. I mostly post substitute ingredients that you can use in behalf of, in lieu of the other ingredients that is not available in your area. Excuse me. Water now, please. Sorry. When you talk too much, your throat dries out, so water is the answer. So if you guys are interested in that, my online classes are very comprehensive. It's easy to follow even for beginners or bakers who are just starting out, and those who are or mommies who are trying to discover something new for their kids or something new to make a business out of. So just if you're interested in that, just head on over to Chef Avis Cakes and Class on Facebook and check out the album online, available online classes. I do have baking classes, I have cake decorating classes, and I have keto breads and keto dessert classes, which is all the fad right now. I know I'm still fat, but I used to be really, really fat. Like, amazingly fat. I used to be 89 kilograms. So I am now only 88. No, joke. I am now only 77. I know it's still a lot, but you know, if you consider how heavy I was before, and we did a lot of experiment diets, and what worked best for us was keto. And then after a few months of keto, we transitioned into low carb. So if you're interested in keto recipes, I have classes on Chef Abbas Cakes and Class. Yeah, I did not used to be this pretty. Oh wait, I'm still not pretty. Okay. Even with a lot of chit chat, it's still not done. I don't know what else to say. But I want you guys to see what it's gonna look like out of the oven. It is almost done. So if you can bear with me for maybe about 2 minutes more, I want to show you what it looks like straight out of the oven. Can I have some coffee? Would you like some coffee? Oh, thank you so much, Raquel. Yeah, I used to have chubby cheeks like a chipmunk. That's yours, Minnie. Seriously, I was super chubby before, and it wasn't just a question of weighing so much. No, thank you. Of weighing so much, but it was really a health issue. I was fabulously fat. But the problem there is I became hypertensive. I developed diabetes. Couldn't ride a motorcycle, which was horrible. So I really decided to lose weight. My husband too was having health issues. He was hypertensive. He had to be on maintenance medicine for his hypertension. But now, we are both med-free. We don't take any maintenance medicines anymore. That's true, Girl Scout honor. And I guess more than losing the weight, that's the winning factor. We are now healthier and we can do more things. And we assume we will stay together longer because we are living healthier. So if you guys are interested in those recipes that are much healthier than what you are eating right now, then do head on to Chef Avis Cakes and Class and check them out. I think it's done. I really think it's done. Let me take it out of the oven. Whoa! It's hot. See? It's beautiful. Wait, I'm just going to go near the camera. Thank you. There. Can you guys see it? I'm not very good at this. There. Ang nice, diba? You see, it's quite, oh, it's hot. It's quite shiny up on top. And I didn't put anything on there. I just really, I think me, it's different. It's wonderful. It's soft. We get a small piece and show it to you. Wait. I don't want to ruin the bread. I want it to look fabulous for photos. Steaming hot. Oops. This is hard. Ow. Can you guys see it? It's soft and yummy. Perfect for coffee. So there, if you have any questions at all that's related to this recipe, please put it down in the comment box and I'll try my best to answer them all. It's so... I want to cut it in front of you, but I'm afraid to burn myself. I'll just use scissors. Sorry, bread. Thank you, Joanne. Finally, I got a huge chunk. I just want to show you. There. How nice that is. Now, if you are not afraid of a lot of sugar, then you can sprinkle a little bit of granulated sugar on top before putting it in the oven. So I hope you enjoyed today's live tutorial and do watch out for more free tutorials from me. So if you have any requests, please type them down at the comment box. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you soon. I will do another video on Tuesday. Thanks for watching.